Hello and welcome to the Enterprise Talk Conversation Series, a peer knowledge resource by the CXOs for the CXOs. Now to our host, Kanika Goswami.
Hi, we welcome you to a podcast on stage with enterprise thought leaders. Today we shall be speaking with Moussa Zaghdoud. He's the Executive Vice President, Cloud Communications Business Division at Alcatel-Lucent Enterprise. Hi, Moussa. It's great to have you with us today.
Hi, Kanika. Thank you very much for the invitation.
It's good. I will give a small introduction about Moussa because technically I should. He's the inventor of Rainbow, the Alcatel-Lucent Enterprise Cloud Platform, providing hybrid collaboration services and CPaaS. As Executive Vice President of the Cloud Communication Business, he is responsible for the end-to-end cloud strategy, as well as the solution definition, offer management, and business model definition for the Alcatel-Lucent Enterprise Cloud offers. Prior to joining ALE, Moussa founded two startups that provided cloud call center services and artificial intelligence-based predictive routing services to enterprises. Moussa is the chairperson of SIPWISE and advisory board member in different companies. So we're thrilled to have you on our show with us, Moussa. Well, I've spoken a bit about your credentials. I'd really like to hear from you about your views on the cloud communication initiatives and solutions of Alcatel-Lucent and how you are driving them.
Okay, thank you, Kanika. First, you made a very clear summary of the activities and managing. And yeah, as you said, I found this solution, which is the cloud activity today for the company, but of course with an entire team with us. The principle of that is to really see how the market is evolving when we talk about connectivity and when we talk about communication, which is our core business in the company. And the point at that time when we started working on that is to make sure that we have the right solution to accompany the customers. And we were seeing already the cloud coming up, and it was important for us to have the right technology to support that change and that transformation to the digital and the cloud. So that's how things are started a few years back. And now, as you said, I'm happy to be part of the board of the company and being, of course, in charge of those activities. And making sure that the strategy we have set up with my colleagues is going to really support our business partners and customers around the world.
So you have been with Alcatel since the beginning of your career. It spans over 2 decades, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it's not common actually in this business, let's say, but I've entered this company as a trainee. And by the way, in the past, the Alcatel-Lucent was for me the company in which I wanted to work, and it was like a kind of young engineer dream when you see all these technologies. We were doing satellites, we were doing submarine fibers, and all these things. So to me, it was really the target to join that company, which I had a chance to join as a trainee, and then along the way, I taken several positions, which means that the company also can help people in the company to evolve, and that was my case. So I can witness this thing.
So practically you've grown with the company, we can say that.
I definitely can say that, yeah.
All right. So my first question is rather generic, but it is extremely relevant, especially over the last 3-4 years. So what are the best strategies to streamline communications across enterprise for a globally dispersed workforce, which you must have seen a lot since 2020?
Yeah. So basically, there is no one unique recipe to this, as you can imagine. And to me, it will really depend of the organization and what are the challenge that this organization is facing. And I'm speaking here about different type of companies, be it very small company, and we can also talk about very large companies. Definitely, those two extreme do not have the same challenges, as you can imagine. So for us, it's important to understand each of these segments and be able to provide the right solution as a technology provider. So coming back to your question, I think that first thing is to understand very clearly the company and let's say the organization operation process. What are the burdens that the company is facing? And sometimes people don't know it. So we need to help understanding, we need to help these organizations understanding their burden and what problems they have. At the end of the day, we are technology providers, but we are here more to solve problems, and that's the key thing. So it is about understanding the company ecosystem in companies and organizations. You always have some legacy systems, and you have also some very innovative things. This has to work together still. And at the end, we need to understand how far the organization is towards its own strategy. When a company sets a strategy, we have to look at this and understand if we are far from this objective or not, understand the short-term and the mid-term objectives, and then come up with the right solution. There is another dimension which is important, is the human aspect of it, making sure that the organization has the right skills. The organization knows where to hire or to train, and if the organization is prepared to that transformation that we all talk about. At the end of the day, we're talking about simplicity, which drives adoption and drives the transformation.
So, in your answer, what I hear is it will largely depend on the requirements of the organization, as a dispersed workforce. So instead of asking you another question, which I was thinking we will ask finally in the end of the interaction, I also want to know, security was a big question when you talked about dispersed workforces, and especially when you're using cloud for communicating for that, especially during the pandemic. And I think some threats are still left over. Everything is not cleaned up as yet. How do you handle that? Because security plays a huge role in any organization's existence, survival, right?
When we talk about this transformation, Kanika, definitely I was mentioning the simplicity, the adoption that drives the transformation. But if it does not come with a high level of security and confidentiality, you lose the trust, and the company loses the trust. So this is a key topic, as you mentioned, very clearly. So to handle that, first of all, we have to make sure that the organizations, which are our customers, somehow also have the right level of connectivity. So it was important to make every single employee of the organization being able to connect with the right level of access to the company. And you remember the pandemic, we had to be able to work from any place. And this is critical to allow anyone to connect. So that's the first thing. Second, when we're talking about this security, we have to ensure that in terms of technology, we are at the state of the art of these security policies, which are about technology first, encryption, all things related to the authentication. And I mean, I don't want to go too much in details, but this is technology side, and you have also the processes on the other side that are coming with all the regulation and the certification we need to apply, we need to comply with in order to make sure that we are in a secure environment from that angle. Again, security is not something we play with, and security is about how we access, how we secure the access, but also how we manage the data. The data is about making sure that the data that we exchange together, as an example today, is secured, is safe, and no one will take it to play with it or to not to use it the right way. The security as an element is really bringing trust. And in these technologies, if you don't feel that you are dealing with a trusted technology, you don't take. And if you don't take, you don't adopt, you don't transform.
So that's a very short answer for such a long question. Security is massive. So yes. Now, business leaders are often confused while selecting from the cloud, on-premises, or hybrid, infrastructures. Sorry. What factors should they consider while making the right decision? And what are the risks and the benefits that are associated with each of them? So technically, we know the answers, but I want to know from you, because you're on the ground, you are catering to enterprises and meeting their requirements. What do you think should be the best way to decide which kind of cloud works for you?
Yeah, I think this is a very important question. All companies, all organizations are asking themselves. And again, what is interesting is that in the past, only very big, large organizations were having this kind of questions. Now, every single company, be it very small or very large, has this question and this challenge. So to me, what is important, the core of everything is the adoption. Why the adoption? It's because if you don't have the users within the organization using the solution and really going in the transformation that we want them to go, then everything else is not important. So to make sure that people are adopting, it's about bringing to those employees in the company the sense of efficiency, so that they can really understand and perceive the benefit of what they are doing. Take the example of the pandemic again. we had a lot of people that really were pushing back using all these digital technologies. But once they have been home, locked down, and saw the advantage and the benefit of these technologies, everyone has been converted. So first thing is that adoption and making sure that people within the company are understanding the benefit of all that. So, and then the question about what kind of technology should I use? Should I use cloud? Should I go on-premise or hybrid? Again, we have to look at the company objectives. What is the objective of the company? What is the company doing? What is the existing company ecosystem? Is the company mainly oriented outside? So we need more mobility. So the cloud here is much more accurate towards these things. Or is the company really focused on internal communication and a high level of confidentiality of data? Then here we're mainly talking about on-premise, even private cloud. So again, it is about level of efficiency, the flexibility that the company needs. If you have a company that is flexible in the number of users or the usages, then definitely the cloud is the solution, because in the cloud, you just use what you need and you pay for what you need. You don't need to invest in an on-premise system, as an example. And there is another point I wanted to mention here is the transformation pace. All companies don't have the same transformation pace, as you can imagine. So it's important to understand that pace and be able to come up with solution that is, answering the very short term of the organization and being able also to project in the future the transformation. In our company, Alcatel-Lucent Enterprise, we are coming up with solutions that are really taking into account that aspect. We don't say to our, let's say, customers or partners that they have to throw everything away that they have already and to take, let's say, the cloud. We say, if you have something that you use in your company, we can just leave it that way and connect it to the cloud. This is the hybrid mode. That way, you don't have a disruptive transformation methodology, and also you save your investment, because as a company, you have invested on that material. So you don't want to get rid of it. So again, I think that we have some big patterns, again, to understand what kind of technology the company has to use. But at the end of the day, we have to come to the ground and understand the real problem that the company has to solve. And this is where the business model is important as well. If you want to pay, you have a budget to pay your material and it's okay for you to integrate it within your cost, then you can go for a capex type of payment. If you want to be much more flexible, you have to go in a subscription mode there to also to have much more flexible business model. So again, this is really coming to the knowledge of the company. And here we are not, as a company, we are not only a technology provider, we can also advise our customers, and we are doing that through a large number of business partners that are helping us bringing the proximity, because one of the key of the success, Kanika, is also the proximity. This is something we don't want to lose. If you are a customer and you use those solutions and you need something, you need a support, you need to understand, you need some training, you need to be able to look behind you and see someone helping you. And you don't need to go and call someone on a call center and pushing buttons to have the support. It has to be very, very close to your organization so that you can gain time as well here.
So I have one small query here, and that is out of the curriculum, so to speak. You said you are partners to the, you prefer to refer to your customers as partners. So you are a partner in their growth, in their cost optimization, in everything that they are looking forward to become a digital organization. What do you do if you encounter an organization which reaches out to you with a legacy infrastructure? Are they ready for the cloud? And if they are not, then how do you make them ready for the cloud to begin with?
So first of all, I think that it's important, again, to understand the ecosystem of that company and come up with the right solution for the right problem that we see. Having a legacy system is not bad. Having a legacy system could be for many reasons, and I can tell you that as Alcatel-Lucent Enterprise, we are selling a lot of these on-premise solutions, right? But if you have a system that is existing, what we want to make sure is that it is used the right way, with the right operation process, the right cost associated to it. And we know that the cost is a big thing also in the decisions. And we want to make sure that this legacy could be moving to more digital. And for that, we can assess that with our partners and customers. And this is here, this helps puts me to talk about the different way of selling. Today, we are more in a consultancy selling where we are not only box movers, we have kind of intimacy with the customer because, again, the human aspect of it is important, as I mentioned at the beginning. And one of them is to make sure that we have a relation with the customer and partners. And here, it's important to not only understand, but advise and implement with our partners the right solution for the right problem.
And now I will ask you a question which you can answer with all the marketing that you have at your hand. What are the best cloud strategies and tools that businesses can consider to improve the agility and sustainability of their organization and achieve business goals? So when I say achieve business goals, I'm talking about revenue goals, of course, but at least now that is not the only goal of an organization. They have to meet a whole lot of other objectives as well as a business. How does the cloud help them, and how do you help them select what works best for them?
So for me, it's not a simple question, because if I was very straightforward, is the best Alcatel-Lucent Enterprise is the best solution, but I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say that again. Keep in mind that two things are important: the adoption, which means the simplicity that are coming with the tools and the solutions that a provider is bringing to the market. And here it's easy to make up your mind, because you can just, thanks to those cloud technologies, you can test them. And this model allows any customer to test a solution without paying anything, without installing anything. So the power of the demonstration to me is very important, because then you get immediately, without investing, what you could get if you take the solution. That's the simplicity coming with the user experience. And then if we don't meet the second point, which is the security and the confidentiality of the data, then there is something missing. So to me, it's important to assess both. And I can tell you that the security and the confidentiality of data is something that is now more and more important, especially given the geopolitical movements that unfortunately we see. Each country wants to have its own sovereignty, which we can understand. And this means what? This means the technology, to me, has to be able to be deployed in a cloud way, or in a hybrid way, or even in a private cloud way. And here, if you look at the market, there is very few actors that can do these things with the same technology. At the end, it can be a combination of full cloud solution with private cloud. If you're a company that has people outside, that has people inside, that has some partners to connect with. And I would add also something which is, to me, critical as well, is the openness of the solution. You cannot come with just a closed box where we give you only what we think is good for you as a customer. We can also help you customizing your solution, solving your own problems. And for that, you need to have a solution that is open, thanks to what you call the CPaaS, communication as a platform, that you mentioned at the beginning. And this allows to connect humans to objects and to processes. And if you have these three things always there, then you can not only succeed your existing transformation, but also project in the future all the movement that your organization will do, because in any case, you'll always have to connect humans to objects and to processes. So to me, the choice has to fit with this thing about simplicity, security, and openness.
Talk about humans to objects to processes. Are we also referring to IoT here?
Yes, definitely. The IoT is the thing that we see that is a big portion of the digital transformation everyone is speaking about. So objects is IoT, and the IoT could be a sensor, could be a phone, could be a camera, and this is about that. Humans are remaining the same, hopefully. Objects are evolving, and processes are also evolving. So we want to make sure that the solution is evolving with this technology, and as a customer, you don't need to reinvest every time there is a new object, as an example. So definitely the IoT is part of this.
And you offer customization as per their business objectives or their business requirements or imperatives, right?
Yes, definitely. And we also provide them with specific tools that allow them to be autonomous or independent. You don't need any more armies of developers to set up your own use case. If you want to connect sensors in your company, thanks to our workflow management, you can define what are the actions to do and what are the sensors you want to trigger, what are the processes you want to automate, and this is thanks to the technology that we are building, so that at the end of the day, we are keeping the complexity for us, and we give you the tool to really concentrate on what's important for you as a customer or as a company, which is your business process, your growth, your security, and the adoption of your employees to the solution.
Right. It is a need of the hour to connect people, applications, and objects, as you just mentioned, in real time to streamline day-to-day operations. And that is true for every organization across the world. But security, like we mentioned before, becomes a critical risk here. So how can enterprises enhance the workforce experience without compromising on security? And when I say security, I mean all kinds of security: network security, data security, confidential information or what is being shared, security risk that the cloud may face if somebody opts for going on to a hybrid mode or some system. So my question was, what role does a cloud adoption play in this? Does it increase the security risk? Does it help to mitigate the security risk, or it does nothing at all? The security risk stays and it needs other solutions. What do you think?
I don't think that the cloud is improving or reducing the security because I mean you can have security breaches even though you're completely closed if someone is coming with an USB key and you have these problems. I think the cloud is helping, first of all, in being much more reactive to any issue related to the security. Let me give you a concrete example. Within our company, Alcatel-Lucent Enterprise, we definitely provide connectivity solutions like Wi-Fi hotspots, IoTs, management, and things like that. So imagine that in your company we can detect a breach, or we can detect an IoT that has connected without being authorized. With our technologies, first of all, we can detect that IoT. We can understand that this IoT is not part of the fleet that we have provisioned, and we can act on it by isolating that IoT and allowing the IT people to manage that problem. So to me, the cloud, coming back to your question, is a powerful tool that allows to connect everything, again, human objects and processes, and we collect the data. We can collect the data and we can understand what's going on thanks to the cloud. If you don't have a cloud that is seeing how the IoTs are connected, what are the data flows, what are the breaches, then you cannot manage. So first of all, the cloud is helping in the connectivity, is helping in gathering all the information, and is also helping in providing actions to solve quickly thanks to the connectivity that we provide. For example, as I was saying to you, if we detect any breach on your network, the IT person will have on his application a way to just isolate the wrong IoT that is breaching just by pushing a button, and this device is of course connected to the cloud, which allows these things. So and to enhance all that experience, what is also important, not only the connectivity and the data, but the processes that are helping to understand those data. And here we are touching the artificial intelligence topic. The cloud allows also to gather many data, of course, always respecting the privacy, the GDPR, and all this regulation, as you can imagine. But we can also set up some AI processes that will help processing all that data and act as quick as possible. Because at the end of the day, just to conclude on that point, Kanika, what is important at the end for us as human beings and in this business or in this activity is to really manage as quick as possible all these processes and gain time. The time is the key thing for every one of us, right? So if you have any breach, the quickest you can solve it, the best. If you are using the cloud, let's say for any collaboration like we do today, it's because we can immediately interact without losing time, even though I would have pleasure to meet you in person. But here is to really to be able to be immediately on the different topics without losing time. So the time thing is key. And when I come back to your first question, I was talking about efficiency, I was talking about security and how the different organization will select the technologies. They have to look also how the technology is helping them gaining time in their daily processes. And that's key thing. And we see it also from a pure human perspective. Today, you and me, we still are okay to have a bit of patience with the technology. When we push a button, we are okay to wait 3-4 seconds. The generations that are coming after us will not wait. So the time thing, which is related to how we manage our impatience as human being, is directly related to the adoption and as a consequence to the transformation.
So essentially zero downtime, whether it is a security risk or is it's an operational gap, right?
Exactly.
So my questions are over, but I just want to know from you, what do you see happening in the next 6 months, 1 year? Have we reached whatever the cloud can do? Or are there still some things which we can expect things to change, get better? You are the technology guys, you guys are developing it, innovating on it. So what's your next direction of innovation?
First of all, I think that there is no end to this, and the history shows that the technology is not stopping, and this is very good news. This is going very quick right now, as you can imagine. So the other good thing with the cloud is that the speed that we need to have in order to really to support that growth and this new usages, also supported by the consumer usages. We see more and more of this consumer application influencing the enterprise business, let's say. So to me, what is going to be the key thing, again, and everyone is speaking about it, but today we all see that this is a reality, is about the artificial intelligence integration in those processes, right? That's the key thing. And also, this is also coming with some challenges, and we know some security challenges that are coming with the AI, right? I don't know if the person who is talking to you is really me or a virtual avatar. I don't know. Well, of course, I know, but let's say that it could be something else, right? And we see that these technologies are very, very accurate, and with the time, with the power of the computers, it will be almost impossible to make a difference between a real human and an avatar. So this is coming with risk that we have to manage as technology provider, and also thanks to all the regulations that the different governments are putting in place. However, I see the AI as an opportunity rather than a constraint, as you can imagine, because we will be able to process much more data, to predict much more quicker things, to bring much more quicker the solution to the different problems we have in our society, be it healthcare, be it transportation, be it whatever government. So to me, the AI combined with the huge amount of data together will be definitely the key thing in the coming 6 months, 1 year, or beyond. And if we were to think about a more long-term future, if we combine the quantum computing, which is really bringing much more power in those processing, we will reach amazing results in the coming years.
Very interesting, extremely interesting answer, and I hope to speak with you again about that, the steps going forward. But for now, thank you so much for your time, Moussa. It was a real pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, Kanika. Pleasure was mine. Thanks a lot. See you next time.
Thank you so much for being with us. Please do follow us on social media for regular updates and new content.